We're going to break down the Cowboys depth chart here. If you want a way too early 53-man roster projection video, then show us you do by sharing today's video right now. There are a couple of roster spots open as of filming for the Dallas Cowboys, but we're going to break down where things currently sit on the Cowboys depth chart, position by position. That begins at quarterback, where there are just 3 players, although I would fully anticipate somebody's got to come in just to even be the camp arm for the rookie minicamp. So I wouldn't read too much into that one. Dak Prescott is your established starter. Cooper Rush has shown he can be your backup quarterback, and it's all about Trey Lance this camp and preseason. Lance is going to get so many reps in the preseason. Frankly, I might only play him outside of like a series or 2 for Rush. I would let Lance get all the experience that he needs, unleash the offense, see what he can do. Because he's in the final year of his deal. You haven't seen him yet. You'll want to know what you can get out of Trey Lance. The preseason will be our first look at that. The running back room, I will maintain, is not in very good shape. You got 7 guys if we include, or 8 guys, excuse me, if we include Hunter Luepke as the fullback, H-back hybrid there. The leading rusher last year of the guys in our roster was Ezekiel Elliott. It was at significantly less than 4 yards per carry. Rico Dowdle was semi-effective. Royce Freeman was semi-effective. Deuce Vaughn didn't get to play very much. Malik Davis was on the practice squad most of the year. Nate Peat is a UDFA who was a backup at Missouri. This running back room scares me. Running backs don't matter as much as other positions, but this is the worst room in football. I think that's pretty clear. So who is RB1 for this team? EE for Ezekiel Elliott, RD for Rico Dowdle, RF for Royce Freeman. You can type in small for Deuce Vaughn or comment for somebody else, maybe even somebody not on the roster. Your top 2 receivers are well established. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. Some of the guys fighting for depth roles probably going to include rookie Ryan Ford, who I am excited to see in the preseason. I want to see how he fares. Jalen Cropper, Tracy McMath, Tyron Billy, not White Shoes Johnson, David Durden, Corey Crooms, and Cam Johnson, the UDFAs from this past year's class. I am most intrigued by the battle for wide receiver 3. Jalen Tolbert has the edge from that perspective. He has caught more passes. He's done more in the offense beyond just being the fast slot gadget player. If you're going to play Lamb a bunch in the slot, probably going to need a bigger body, so that's either Tolbert or Brooks. Brooks played a little bit last year, did show some decent things. Tolbert was not good on special teams. That's a little bit dicey for him, by the way, if he does kind of slide down the wrong way on the roster. Got to get somebody to emerge. Ideally, it is Tolbert since he was a 3rd-round pick. So rate this Cowboys roster for me. Kind of Madden rating style. So 1 to 99 because it can't be 100 in Madden. How do you rate the Cowboys roster? It's the pinned comment on today's video. If the ad comes on YouTube, that is just fine. Ignore it. Instead, go vote. Rate the Cowboys roster Madden style. The tight end room, in good shape. You have Jake Ferguson, who's a clear-cut starter for you. You're banking on Luke Schoonmaker emerging as tight end 2 to make the pick less of a disaster. Tight end 3 is going to be a fun little battle, by the way. Peyton Hendershot. John Stevens was going to beat out Hendershot if he hadn't gotten hurt, but he's also coming off the ACL, so question mark there. Princeton Fant spends time on the roster. Brevin Spann-Ford, Alec Holler are UDFAs. That tight end 3, maybe tight end 4 spot, if they carry one, is up for grabs. The offensive line, there are, to an extent, starting spots open. Because they're not just going to give the job to BB guy. They need those young guys to show they are worth it. But make no mistake, this is what they want the week 1 and a week 18, 17 playoff time offensive line to be. Guyton, Smith, Beebe, Martin, Steele. They like Hoffman and Bass as backups. They did bring back Chuma Adoga. They drafted Thomas. I think Mike McCarthy was hyped at the Thomas pick. He's going to play guard. I think it's a better spot for him than tackle, by the way. And that leaves Earl Bostic, Awesome Richards, Matt Letzko, Josh Ball fighting for roles. By the way, they're not going to play Martin or Bass that much in the preseason. Bass will play a little bit, at least a decent amount. Who's the backup to at right guard? Is it Shepley? Or do they try Josh Ball or Matt? Let's go in there. Might matter as those guys fight for that last 9th or 10th offensive line spot. Now, the Ezekiel Elliott jerseys, you go to Fanatics, you're going to see all the 21 jerseys. You can find the 15s. You have to do a weird drop-down filter search thing. So instead, go to chatsports.com/Zeke15 jersey. They are available on Fanatics. We'll put that link in the comments section and the description of today's show. If you want the Zeke 15, that is the number he is wearing, head to the comments section or just type in chatsports.com/Zeke15 jersey. To defense we go. Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence, Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealand, and Junior Fehoko are your top defensive ends. And that room is fine, especially if you get a breakout year from Sam Williams. I think in the end, I believe that Mike Zimmer will make or break Sam Williams. Either he will emerge as the potential gets realized, right? And he becomes a premier pass rusher, the guy that Dan Quinn thought the Cowboys could get in or get with and have. He becomes that, or the off-the-field stuff and the lack of attention to detail continues to rear its ugly head. The penalties continue, and he's in Zim's doghouse. X factor is how to sum up Sam Williams here. Along the defensive line, so Oso Odighizuwa, hoping for a full year of him being an impact player. We've seen flashes of it. We'll come back to Mazi Smith. Chauncey Golston, I would expect, plays defensive tackle again, but we'll see. I like Justin Rogers in the Hankins role, just like be large. Big man, move little is a good theory for a nose guard. Carl Davis is a backup nose guard. Okay, I don't think he's very good. The only unit they added was Denzel Daxon. I wonder if they're not done at defensive. That's a thin room. Even if Mazi Smith does the things he needs to do this year, you need Mazi Smith to emerge as a legitimate starting nose guard in the NFL. He doesn't have to reach his potential in year two, but he has to show something more positive. He has to be at the right weight. He has to help stop the run, make the occasional splash play, and show that, okay, in year three, the breakout's coming, and he's startable in year two. He was a first-round pick. You got to throw him to the fire and give him a chance. And if it doesn't work out, we'll have that conversation next year. So will Mazi Smith bounce back this year? Y for yes, N for no. Sound off for me in the comments. To linebacker, a little bit better shape than what it was previously, although still a little bit thin. Eric Kendricks is in town as the Mike Zimmer guy to be the middle linebacker. He'll probably be ahead of Maurice Liufau. Could maybe be your long-term middle linebacker. We'll see. I hope so. Weak side linebacker, DeMarvion Overshown, I think should be over Damone Clark. This team was so excited about Overshown until he got hurt and missed the year. Clark, I think, will be better at weak side linebacker too, but he's kind of on the make or break timeline as well there. And then, linebacker 5 and 6, Buddy Johnson, Damian Wilson. You're going to get one of those UDFAs, Brock Moggensen or Jason Johnson to emerge? Maybe. I would not rule out the Cowboys looking at the linebacker room specifically along the waiver wire once roster cuts happen. Kendricks is not the same guy he was in his prime. You can even see that to an extent in the tackle numbers, in the TFL numbers. They've kind of slid a little bit there. He's lost a half step. But for what the Cowboys need, stability, I think it was a great pickup by Dallas. The cornerback room. I think you got some locks here. Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis. I think Kalen Carson will make it. CJ Gordon probably gets cut and then gets brought back or goes to the practice squad. So there's 4.5. We'll see about Josh Butler. Maybe Mukwamu plays safety or corner. That's kind of a TBD there. You might see Josh DeBerry, who we'll get to in a second, play corner as well. Eric Scott or Deshaun Wright. I don't know if both those guys make the roster. Scott's got more time left on his contract, probably gets the edge at this point in his career. Also might come down to special teams. So I think it's at that kind of last corner spot. is going to matter, especially if injuries, unfortunately, happen again. We have all the latest and greatest Dallas Cowboys news that you need right here on the channel, so do not miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Now, I like the status of this safety room. Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Marquise Bell will be playing safe. That's the plan, at least, as opposed to linebacker, where he played well in a spot that he probably wasn't supposed to play as much as the Cowboys needed him to. Curious where Mukwamo gets played. I still think he might be a corner. That's where I had him graded coming out. Actually, I had him above Deshaun Wright in that class, and I feel like I was mostly right about that one. Wanye Thomas, I like him. Tweets a little bit too much and gets people off sides, which is always kind of funny, but I thought the football player, he could be your safety 5. Redwine is a veteran backup, then some UDFAs, Amani Johnson, Julius Wood, Josh DeBerry as well. They did not sign Solo Turner as of last reporting, so do keep that in mind there. I think you're in good shape, really. I haven't said very much about this roster, but I think safety's in pretty good shape. Biggest need left for the Cowboys. Is it running back? Is it DT? Sound off in the comments section. Special teams-wise, it does look a little bit weird to have Turpin next to himself twice, but that is what it is. It's Brandon Aubrey, Brian Ager, Trent Sig. They'll probably cut Sig. They actually could cut Anger around Ross sometime, bring him back as a vested veteran, but he's not. He's going to be your punter. Sig will be your long snapper. Pretty well established. I'm very excited to see how John Fossil attacks these new special teams rules.